Brian May turned 78. What happened to the rock legend now? People assume rock stars retire. Not Brian. His story still surprises me. I have followed Queen my whole life, and I went digging. At 16, he hand-built the Red Special with his dad. They used mantle wood, bicycle springs, and little household bits. He played that same guitar on every single Queen album. It even became a real brand with official replicas fans can buy. So what does life look like at 78? It is not quiet, and it is not simple. It is a mix of bright and dark turns that keep unfolding. From a teenage invention to stadium anthems to private grief, the road stretches on. From health scares to fresh work, he keeps showing up. Stay with me as we step into his world today. It all begins with one homemade guitar that changed everything. Teenage experiment. Brian May built his own guitar. They called it the Red Special. That guitar changed everything. He was 16, short on cash, and long on ideas. With his father, he shaped a neck from old mantle wood. He used bicycle springs, bits of metal, and even knitting needles. They worked for 2 years, sanding and soldering by hand. Nothing about it was standard, but the sound was pure Brian. He nicknamed it the Old Lady and never let it go. He cut every Queen album with that same instrument. He even played it from the roof of Buckingham Palace in 2002. Later, the Red Special inspired an official line of replicas for fans. Guitar builders I meet still talk about its magic and feel. It was more than wood and wire. It was a vision. That vision powered a band. Next, watch Queen rise at full blast. They started as nobodies. Queen moved faster than anyone expected. Brian's guitar led the charge. Then the anthems took off. Queen formed around 1970 and cut a first album in 1973. By the mid-1970s, they were everywhere on radio and stage. Bohemian Rhapsody stormed to #1 in 1975 and stayed there for 9 weeks. Brian's layered harmonies and the Red Special defined a huge part of the sound. He metamorphosed from a shy science kid into a full guitar god. By 1985, they owned Live Aid with that same guitar. An estimated 1.5 billion people watched across the globe. Their energy felt like lightning running through a wire. I still get chills replaying that set in my head. Which Queen era or song is your favorite and why? Now let's dive into how those massive anthems were forged in the studio. You know these songs. We Will Rock You stomps in your bones. Brian wrote that anthem in 1977 to make crowds part of the band. He loved stacking choir-like guitars note by note with the Red Special. Those layers became a Queen signature you can spot in 2 seconds. Bohemian Rhapsody turned the dial to myth in 1975. It sat at #1 in the United Kingdom for 9 weeks. Brian's guitar cut through the opera and the rock like a beam of light. His riffs power songs like Fat-Bottomed Girls and keep stages shaking. Even tracks like A Kind of Magic and Don't Stop Me Now lean on that tone. His craft is math and emotion living in the same solo. That is the secret glue for Queen's sound, then and now. You are watching Golden American Legends, and if this story hits home, subscribe for more deep dives. Tap like and share with a friend who loves Queen. Up next, not everything was golden. Heartbreak reshaped his path. Not everything was golden. Brian faced heavy loss behind the stage lights. His father, Harold, died of cancer in the late 1980s. His mother, Ruth, died suddenly in 1997 at age 76. He has said he had 10 wonderful years with his mom before that day. Grief knocked the wind out of him, but it did not end him. He poured himself into playing and into work that felt meaningful. Every note became a way to honor what his parents taught him. Discipline, patience, and that stubborn do-it-right mindset carried him forward. I hear that in his careful tone bends and quiet pauses. He once said, "You try to make a difference while you can." That line sits with me when I listen to the softer tracks. Loss changed his compass, not his courage. Next, you will see how purpose widened beyond the stage into science and wildlife. Offstage, he kept creating. He went back to school and finished the work he paused. In 2007, he earned a PhD in Astrophysics at Imperial College. That is not a side project. That is a second mountain. He co-founded a wildlife charity and speaks out for animal welfare. He campaigns against cruel hunts and stands up for big cats and badgers. He has said he wants to make a difference beyond music. I see that same careful mind from his guitar builds in his research notes. He writes books, photographs the night sky, and mentors young thinkers. It is a life that refuses to pick only one lane. To me, that is the best kind of rock and roll. It says curiosity is a lifelong engine, not a phase. All of this purpose met a harsh test with age. Next up, the health scares that tried to stop him and how he pushed back. Age brings new battles. Even rock gods face fragile moments. Brian suffered a heart attack in late 2022. He said it came without the usual risk signs and it scared him. It knocked the stuffing out of him in his own plain words. He also shared that he had to fight his way back to health. Reports in 2024 described a mild stroke affecting his arm. He reassured fans he was working on recovery and staying hopeful. Rehab, rest, and careful planning became part of the set list. I think of it like retuning a beloved guitar after a rough tour. He kept his focus on healing and on the music that studies him. Setbacks did not write the last verse of his story. They taught him to pace the encore. Now let us see what he is actually doing at 78. Age has not silenced him. He still plays, writes, and shows up for fans. Queen plus Adam Lambert kept touring into the new decade. By late 2021, he was preparing to tour again the next year. By 2022, he was back on big stages with that old guitar. He stays busy with music reissues, books, and fresh media projects. He supports science outreach and keeps his charity work humming. The Red Special brand still inspires builders and players worldwide. He also gained a new honor when he was knighted in 2023. Sir Brian keeps the same friendly, nerdy charm in every interview. He smiles, then dives deep on pickups, space dust, or animal rescue. At 78, the calendar is full, not faded. It feels less like a victory lap and more like chapter next. Now, what does all this add up to for his legacy? Brian's journey beats expectation. Guitar hero turned scholar sounds like a movie, but it is real life. He built legends out of wood, wire, and willpower. He also built a full second career that feeds his curious mind. Queen sold hundreds of millions of records across decades. They entered the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2001. He is still named among the great guitarists by critics and players. At the heart is a family motto he took to heart. If a thing is worth doing, it is worth overdoing. He lived that in practice, from practice rooms to observatories. Age did not silence him. It reframed his pace and his purpose. That is why his 78th year matters to fans and to culture. Which part of Brian's life inspires you most? Hold that thought because it leads us into one last takeaway. Brian May's 78th year proves real life beats myth. He built a guitar at 16 that redefined stadium sound. He wrote anthems that still stomp and clap in arenas today. He faced deep loss and kept going with grace and grit. He earned a doctorate in astrophysics and fought for wildlife with heart. He survived scary health moments and worked his way back. Today, he is still creating, still curious, still here. If you want more stories like this, thanks for watching Golden American Legends, and please subscribe for new deep dives. Drop a like, share this with a Queen fan, and keep the music alive. Tell me, what did we miss about his 78th year? Or what lesson from Brian's path resonates with you? I read your notes and I learn from them every time. Watch the next video on our channel for another legend reframed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.